Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, y'all. I think there's 3 more days remaining before the baby gets here. Ooh, before the baby chicken gets here. I wonder what we'll name it. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Anyhow, I trust that you rested well. But we need to talk about judgment. I know I talk about judgment every day, but I don't think you get it. Sometimes I have to catch myself, and I'm like, gosh, ah. But you see, judgment, when we judge, it's not talking. I'm going to say the scripture. And I know some people may get upset because they say, oh, why are you always going to talk about scripture? Listen, because most, if not all of us, have been hurt by the church, does not mean that scripture does not hold value. The scripture has been quote unquote bastardized by the church. Okay. But what the church cannot ruin are the principles of creation that are in the Bible. Listen to the scripture. It says, judge not lest ye be judged. That is the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. You see, we keep thinking it's talking about somebody other than you. It is only talking about you. So when you hear the judge not, lest ye be judged, it is simply the principle of correspondence that is telling you what you hold within is what you will experience on the outside. So to judge now, if you're looking at your life and like I do sometimes, I smack my forehead and I say, oh my God, why am I not further ahead? Oh my God, why? You see that judgment right there? How does it make you feel? We keep thinking that we change things with our words, but we do not. It is the feeling behind the word that gives it power. Well, how can I be so sure? Well, if you couldn't speak, would you still not be the director of your own life? Why is that? Because we don't speak with words. We speak with feelings. Some call them emotions, but that's what we speak with. You ever been in church as a young child and you fidget a little too much? Now, I wasn't always blessed with the fact that my grandmother sat next to me the whole service because she was busy leading worship, but if I fidgeted too much, or she looked at me and I did not know all the words, that look told me everything I needed to know. That look was either, we gonna go over these words when I get home, or that look said, if I put my hands on you, the police is going to come. And she didn't say anything, not a word. She just looked at you. She just looked at you. Or she'd start humming. Little did I know that humming has an effect. I had no idea that humming, when you hum for yourself, it changes you on the inside. Oh, indeed it does. The vibration of humming. You don't have to say anything. You just have to hum. The vibration of the humming changes you on the inside. It has a very calming effect. Little did I know, I didn't even know how she knew that humming would cause her not to beat me. Jeez. I digress. It is that feeling on the inside. It is the feeling on the inside. Ever been in a crowded room and your eyes caught someone across the room and their eyes caught yours? Nobody said a word. But it was that feeling. And we want to get all fancy and say intention. Judge not. The way you feel when you judge yourself. Okay? What does it make you feel like? This is the question. What does it feel like when the judgment passes through you? When you think of it? When you're in the mood of judgment? What does it feel like? Then that is the type of experience you will have. People say all the time, well, I didn't exactly want that thing to happen to me, but why did that thing happen? Because that thing is the corresponding thing to the internal. It's the corresponding thing. If what is within you is, let's say joy, it doesn't matter what the joy is stemming from. It doesn't matter. The point is that there is joy within. So now, whatever external experience you have is going to show you joy. It just matches joy. That's why when we hear that every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause, it has nothing to do with the words that you utter. It is what's behind the word. What is moving, what is causing you to say the word is the most important part. So I mentioned to you yesterday about weight loss. You want to lose weight, but every time you look in the mirror, you're talking about, oh my God, my butt has its own zip code. Or you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I am just like, oh, the scale is not my friend. You're not saying words. Go where the feeling is. See what that feels like. It makes you, when you judge yourself, depending on how you judge yourself. And normally when we judge, it's not a good thing. Think about that. Normally when we judge, it's not something pleasant. Hmm? Normally when we judge, we're like the two old men in the balcony on the Muppets. Oh my God. Did you really leave the house looking like that, Al? Look at you. I can see your edges. Mm, Normally when we judge, it is not pleasant. So when you're told to judge not, lest ye be judged, the warning is simple. That feeling that accompanies your judgment is the same kind of feeling you're going to experience in the outside world. So if you're judging and you are scornful, if you're judging and you're like, ugh, I can't take you on, I can't stand you. See that feeling? But now let's flip it. If you are, I saw it in myself yesterday. I doubt myself a lot in certain areas. Like my coworker was gone for a week, and so I did her job. And so she came back yesterday, and everybody was like, "Oh, Angela did such a great job. Everything just ran so smoothly." First thing out of my mouth was, we'll see. As soon, listen, before it even passed my lips, I said, well, damn, girl. You either know what you're doing or you don't. You don't trust yourself on what you're doing? Why you gotta be so? Why you gotta be so questioning of what you do? Have some confidence in yourself. You did all of this work, yours plus hers, without any hiccups. Any mistakes you did, you caught them. So what's your problem? Why you gotta self-flagellate? That was a conversation going on in my head. Because I saw how little I see of myself and my capabilities. So I judged. Oh, but I could have done better. Yeah, but you haven't been doing it very long. You did a great job. Validation, anybody? You see how important it is to catch those feelings? Why are you seeking validation, Angela? That's the question I asked myself. Why are you seeking validation? Fear. Because you got to remember the previous job, right? Sometimes we think things don't impact us, but they do. They leave an impression. The previous job, whoo, y'all know if you've been here for a while, you know. And so I had to check myself. And it was like, you got to do better, Angela. And I said, well, let's not beat myself up. What is better? You get a compliment, you say thanks. Because did you not do it? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm like, well, then, if you did it, you did it. You own that. I said, okay, I did it. And that's how I had to talk myself out of that bad attitude that I've had for years. You know how it is. Somebody gives you a compliment, you're like, oh, what, this old thing? We bring it down. But that's coming from somewhere. Examine the feeling behind it, and you'll see what it is that's running you from the shadows. You'll see how you're judging yourself. Thereby, you'll begin to see the kinds of experiences that you have that match that feeling every single time. Every time. Oh, but if I if I celebrate my wins, people are going to think I'm arrogant. What now? Where's that coming from? People are going to think you're arrogant? What? Listen, here's a wake-up call for you. Nobody's thinking about you. Do you know why? When you walk down the street, how many people's faces are in their phones? Oh, and you think they're thinking about you? No. Not because you're not worthy to be thought about, but because they are otherwise engaged somewhere else mentally. So here we are, beating ourselves down, thinking that people are judging us, when in actuality, we're the ones judging ourselves. Ending up that we're having the corresponding experience on the outside. Hmm. So you take your time because habits are beautiful, you know. They are. And we only make them. Well, you stop doing one thing, did you not start to do another? Of course. So we make habits. So what is your habitual feeling? This is the question. And you don't have to go looking for it. It's always there because it's your habit. It's the way you roll, the way you do things. Mine? Not seeing the full value of myself. That's mine. Listen, I've been with it for a long time, so I know. I know. Logically, I know. Neurologically, because it's my habit and I've been doing it for such a long time, it's my default. And so every time I catch myself, I don't catch myself all the time, but every time I catch myself, I say, whoa, whoa, what is it that you want to become? What would I be doing? How would I be behaving? Well, not like that. Like what? And I say, well, like this. Well, then do it. I'm like, okay, 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 okay. And I start doing it. So you see, judge not. It's not that it's a beat down. It is a way for you to see your inner self clearly. Because when you judge the self so harshly, you muddy the water and you can't see anymore. Thereby, you don't see what you're doing, what's happening. And then you just keep doing the same thing you've always done, not seeing it at all. Talking about, well, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to change. Because you keep judging. You observe without judgment. The best way to explain that for you is with babies. Observe without judgment. What's the baby doing? It's not trying your patience. You're judging the baby. How does it know? Some would say, well, these children know exactly what they're doing. She on my last nerve. What? They're simply expressing themselves. Observe the expression. How does the expression make you feel? Well, then you have to know that's what's coming out of them. Then, when you look at them, you can have mercy and say, ah, I feel you. How can we ease what you feel? We do it all the time with colicky babies. Oh, he's crying all the time. He's in pain. I don't know what's wrong. And you're tired, right? I just I just want the baby to stop crying. But the baby's not crying because it's got a mouth. It's crying because it's telling you something. But because we're tired and we're frustrated, we don't hear. We don't hear because we judge. So what am I supposed to do, Angela, if I'm so tired and this baby's got me up all night? Understand that it's not up all night because it wants to taunt you. Breathe, because just breathe. And you'll begin to hear. You'll begin to hear what that baby is saying without a word. So which cry are we giving out to the world on a daily basis that no one seems to understand? They just judge you. But there's a cry going out. And because we judge, we do not hear the cry. We're just annoyed by it. So when we judge now, you're just making a lot of noise. We don't hear, right? Because we're looking through the lens of our own frustration. You see what's coming out from the inside? Frustration is coming out. So whatever's going on outside has to mirror the frustration you feel on the inside. Judge not, lest ye be judged. So when you're in a situation, be in the situation to grasp it, to comprehend it. What am I supposed to be seeing here? What am I supposed to be hearing here? What do I need to understand from this situation? And it's never the understanding about the other person, it's the understanding of you. When you understand yourself, now you move different. You'll be able to see what's going on, to hear what's happening, so that you can offer a simple prayer. Oh, shoot, now I see it, right? I see what they're saying. I understand what they're saying. I understand the pain. Or I can celebrate the joy with you. And see, that's the thing. If somebody comes along and they want to share great news with you, and I've been guilty of this, which one of us hasn't? But that's not, we don't judge, right? Isn't that a thing going on right now, a TikTok challenge? We listen, but we don't judge. When you see what is happening, like when you see where you are, then you begin to grasp why everything is falling into place around you in the fashion that it is. It was very interesting that someone said the other day, the stars are in alignment, astrology. And I thought to myself, what if the stars just mirror you? Here we are thinking it is the stars that control us, when in actuality it is we that control the astrology. How? As within, so without. As within, so without. Everything will match you. Everything. And that's a very good thing to see, because then now you're always in a position of power to say, wait a minute, everything matches me? Well, let me get the first image right, according to what I want to experience. What am I feeling here? And it doesn't teach you to ignore your feelings. It teaches you to look right at them, to say, wait, where's that one coming from? Oh, snap. I'm still holding on to this? Nah, I don't want to hold on to that anymore. I want to be this instead. This is what it causes us to do. It causes us to raise our A game, thereby creating our ideal experiences. This is what it is doing for us. But sometimes all we can see is the punishment. Judge not, lest ye be judged. All we can see is the punishment, because look at where we're coming from. Look at where you're coming from when you hear that scripture. And then you'll understand why people hate hearing it so much. But if we would remove the judgment from it, you would see how it is saving you. It is always putting you in a position that shows you you're the one casting the shadow out in this world. So what shape? You know the guys who do the shadow puppets on the ceiling at night with the lights? You're the one shaping and molding the world around you. What do you want it to be? Then you've got to mold you so that it casts the right shadow. And how do we mold ourselves? Those feelings that we habitually go back to. And when you grasp that a habit is simply a thing that you do the same way every time, where's the power? The power is, well, if it's just me doing the same thing the same way every time, well, then let me choose that which I want to do the same way every time. Do you see? Are you beginning to grasp how phenomenal you truly are, right? Everybody running around talking about God this, God that, but yet we don't see God because we judge. The principles are for lack of a better phrase, the guts of God, the substance of God. That's what the principles are. Because if you look at them and you see there is no judgment in them, we always talk about unconditional love, but the principles are the embodiment of unconditional love. 3 minutes remaining. The principles are the embodiment of unconditional love. How? Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. It is telling you your mentality is what will mold and shape your universe. Why? As within, so without. Correspondence. Why? Because everything is moving from the inside out, always. And when it moves through the stages of polarity, they appear to be duality, but there is no duality. It's just one thing moving through a particular stage. That thing on the inside can only become that thing on the outside. So it moves through the stages to get from inside to outside, meaning mango seed becomes mango tree, becomes mango blossom, becomes sweet, juicy mango. See polarity moving through the stage from inside to outside. And as it moves through that stage, it creates a rhythm that every time you look at it, you know what you're looking at because the rhythm won't change. It is what it is, ebb and flow. There's always a compensation. Rhythm always Why must rhythm compensate? Well, as within, so without. It has to compensate. You go 90, you come back 90. Because it always has to correspond. So it has to compensate. It always has to match. And from that rhythm, we are caused, because it will cause you to have an effect. But not just any effect. Every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause because it must correspond. It cannot be any other way. Physics would say every action has a reaction. Well, of course, that is the principle of correspondence, the principle of rhythm, cause and effect. But then, finally, the principle of gender, the ability to generate an idea and then embody it. To generate the idea is masculine, not male. To generate the idea is masculine because we are always in a state of generation. Making something then, molding and shaping, we're generating. And then we embody that which we generate, which is feminine, to give body and shape to. So when you see those principles, where in there does it say you can manipulate this thing? You can't manipulate it because every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So you can't fool it. You can't trick it. You just get to choose the effect that you want, the outcome, the feeling you want to have is what you choose. And people say, well, that's not true. What do you think you're doing every day, all day? But because we judge it and we say, please, that's not real. That's just nature. And do you think that nature just somehow happens? No. It is, for lack of a better word, ordered. Why is it ordered? Because it must follow the rule. It must follow principle. You and I are not exempt from that. We must follow principle as well. But because when we think about habits, we think about the way we were raised. The way we were raised is a generation. Hello. We say a generation is 20 years. Listen to the word generation. We generated something and then we embody it over and over and over 20 years. And we say every generation something changes, right? So you don't judge it. You just simply observe it and do what it says. It's simply telling you what you have within yourself is what you will experience. But what do you have within yourself? Well, that comes by way of your attitude. So the attitude has a feeling attached. And here we are trying to suppress it. Boys don't cry. Oh my God, girls are so emotional. A male has to respond according to his physiology because of cause and effect. Testosterone causes males to behave in a particular fashion. And in smaller amounts, testosterone causes women to behave in a particular way. A woman, female, will behave according to her physiology. Estrogen makes us cry because it's like prolactin. When you're pregnant, all the joints begin to relax. Why? Because you got to get the baby out. Can't do so with tension, so they relax. So we behave according to, we have the corresponding behavior to what we are physiologically. So when we judge and we say men don't cry, you got to man up and rub some dirt in it. Hello? Do you see how much, quote unquote, it's not even that it does harm? Because harm would be the judgment. The moment you say what you say regarding men or regarding women, now they have to behave according to that. So when you hear scripture that says, train up a child in the way it should go, and it will not depart from it, do you know why? Cause and effect. You want them to behave in a particular way, so you treat them in a way that brings about that effect. This is why. But then people say, why you got to use the Bible all the time? It's not relevant in this day and age. See that judgment? Look at where it is coming from. It's coming from a place of pain, anger. People will shut themselves off from hearing anything if you mention scripture. But here's the beauty. All men awaken in their own time. I cannot beat you with the word. Trust me, my grandmother tried. I can't beat you with it. But don't think for one moment that you escape it. It's nothing that you'd want to escape. It is freedom. Why is it freedom? Because it teaches you the personality of God, if you will. Here we are looking and fighting over who we think God is. Then God is right there. But because we are persons, we want to give God a personality. But the minute you give God a personality, now he becomes human. And what do humans do? Let God be what it is. And you will always see God through those principles. Shows you itself every single day. But then you hear be imitators. Oh, So, how does one imitate? By deliberately living those principles and not judging. As Neville Goddard would say, you may have started behind the 8 ball. You may have. Shoot, you may have had a golden spoon, silver spoon, a copper spoon. You may not have had a spoon at all. It is irrelevant. The beginning of you, the moment you become aware of yourself, you can now change your trajectory. This is what the principles will help you to do if you apply them. So, how does one apply them? And I will close with this because I am way over time this morning. Step 1, identify your present circumstance. Where are you? Because when you can see where you are, in other words, what has you so unhappy? What part of your life you're like, oh, I don't want to be there? Well, then, okay, great. If you don't want to be there, where do you want to be? What do you want to be? It does not matter what it is. Don't be in my chat talking about, but what if I want to be whatever? You know when you're taunting, and I'm not about to be taunted, right? Because I know. I get it. I understand. What is it that you want to be? There's something that is within you, and you want to experience it. And it is a beautiful thing. It uplifts you, and it uplifts, because it uplifts you, it will uplift your surroundings. As within, so without. Hello? What is that thing? Just simply name it. Don't judge it. Do not muddy the water talking about, but look at how old I am. I don't even have any connections. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money. That is a judgment. Don't judge it. Just simply answer the question. Okay? Just answer the question, okay? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? That's all the same question. Now that you've answered that question, what would you be doing in this world right now if you were that thing? What would you be doing? You would be doing something that would say, oh, yeah, I made it. How you know you made it? Because you'd be doing the thing. What is that thing? Well, I don't know what that is. Then take your time until you come upon it. Well, I'd be doing this. Wait, no, I'd be doing that. No, wait. Maybe I'd be doing this. Only you would know what that thing is because it has to correspond to what you say you want to be in step 1. So now that you've seen that thing that you would be doing, you begin to experience it. But where? Within. You see it in your mind's eye, like the dancer. 1, 2, cha, 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 right? You're the dancer in the mirror. So you're rehearsing this thing in the mirror, in your mind's eye. And you say, yeah, you know what? That is exactly the feeling. That's exactly what I'd be doing. And that's exactly how it would make me feel. And you keep practicing it in your mind's eye over and over again until that feeling just, you embody it. Like an actor rehearsing their lines over and over and over and over and over till you Leonardo DiCaprio those lines. Till you Jack Nicholson those lines. The truth, you can't handle the truth. You know what? I'm gonna stop. Embody it until it leaves that impression upon you, because that's what it's doing. It is leaving its mark upon you. Like a dog who pees at the hydrant, it's leaving its mark on you. I could say that scripture with Mark, but you know what? Oh Lord, somebody's awake. Oh, good morning, sweetie. I know that's a lot of work in the morning. So, in your step 2, just embody it in your mind's eye. Not because you're pretending, but because you're leaving a mark in your mind's eye. Because that which is within you has to come out. And that's what you're doing. And finally, step 3. See how good that feels, that when you just did step 2? See how good that feels? How magnificent it feels to know that, ooh, I'm doing this. Yeah. Well, it's the feeling that will keep you there, to keep practicing, so that you will flow from practice to actual experience. And you know how you'll know you flowed from practice to experience? First thing out of your mouth is, oh my God, what a coincidence. Your external experience coincided with what was going on the inside. Coincidence. It is the principle of correspondence. That is how you do it. Because that, if you pay attention to what you're doing on a daily basis, you will see that you say what you are and you begin to rehearse it until such time you do it. You will see that that's exactly what you're doing. But don't do it willy-nilly with your eyes shut. No, do it deliberately. Because that's where your power is, always in your deliberate action. When you go back to scripture, let there be light, that was not willy-nilly, that was deliberate. Let there be. That was deliberate. It was not willy-nilly. It was not, oh, shoot, I fail. No, that was deliberate. Anyhow, I trust that that somehow made sense to you today. So that when you go through the day, okay, start to encourage yourself with, wait a minute, as within, so without, hello. As within, so without. And I've often wondered, every time Lil Bit crows and sometimes he's at the wall, I say, child, your eardrums. You know what I learned yesterday? Roosters have a membrane surrounding their eardrums. Why? Because when they crow, it is about 130 decibels. Ow! Do you know what 130 decibels is? They equate it to standing next to a plane as it takes off. Yeah. And every day I live with that. Every day I live with that. And I marvel at it. So, my beautiful friends, today as you go out into the world, you see, it's not random. Every cause has its effect because he has to make such a ferocious sound or piercing sound. He is protected from it so that he can bring joy to me and not hurt himself. So where else do you think in your life? Oh, now you understand how the body works now, right? Hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Yet it doesn't erode. Why not? Because you have a thick mucosal lining in there. You need the acid to break your food down from big particles to small ones. So you can do what? Absorb. Cause and effect. So when you marvel at how beautiful the body functions, recognize that it is the principle of cause and effect at work. And you'll begin to understand your body much better. So you see, my beautiful friends, the principles are everywhere. Everywhere. And we have a fancy word for the principles. We call it science. But what is science if not the observation? So what are you observing? The principles at work every single time. Everything. Anyway, I love you. Who's here? Melly Mel, ow. I see you in these YouTube streets. Oh, it's symmetric. Hey, girl. I see you in these Twitter streets. Moon and Dolphin Duck. Aw, Dumpling is on the farm, and he's so cute and little. And Dolphin, you know what? Dumpling loved cuddling, and I learned that yesterday. I only spent a couple minutes with him, and he loves to cuddle. I don't know what it is. It's a boy or a girl, but Dumpling is just so cute. So now that I'm talking about Moon, and a funny thing, I brought Dumpling into the house in the box. Oh Lord! As soon as Lil Bit saw that box, he made a beeline for that box. He didn't know what was in it. He felt what was in it. I said, oh, and it was interesting because Moon, you triggered Dolphin Duck, right? So I got to tell you about it. Very interesting. I presumed that lady being what she was, she would have taken to the duckling. No. Perhaps maybe I didn't give her enough time, but I had the duckling in my hand and I brought the duckling a little bit closer to her and a little bit closer. She pecked my hand. And I thought, you know what? Perhaps, perhaps that's not good. So I just let her be, you know. She didn't move off her egg, nothing. Because she's otherwise fully engaged, right? To the point where she won't eat. I have to take that food to her. She will not get off that egg. No. So singularly focused, right? But anyway, Miss McQueen, I got a picture of Popcorn. Ooh, girl, he is looking so sweet. Yes, he is. Richard's in the house. And P, P Markey, I see you, baby. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Y'all got an update on the chicken and the duckling. And because he's wild, what I learned was once he matures, he will fly away. Because he's wild. He's not a domesticated breed of duck. He's a wild one. So, cause and effect, because he's wild, he has to be in the wild. You can't domesticate him. So you see, everything is principle, is it not? Anywho, let me pop into the chat to make sure. Yeah. Would that align with mindset, what we perceive a feeling as? Yes. Yes. When you identify what it is you feel, that shows you the mindset. See, because the mindset, right, is invisible at the time. Nobody can see it. But I can see how you feel, which is the external. So the feeling will show you the mindset. Make sense? Anyhow, don't let me keep y'all, because your girl is 20 minutes over today. Lord have mercy. Little bit. You think if you holler at me harder, I will move? He's so sweet. He's just, I gotta go deal with him. Yeah, he did get louder. That's not your imagination. He did really. Because he's like, you take it too long. Okay, okay, I'm coming. I love you all. Practice. Okay? Practice. Practice. After all, that's how come he got so proficient at crowing. He practiced. Because it came out of him one day, and when you first hear them crow, it's the cutest thing ever. But as they mature, at this point, I'm just being mean right now. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm coming. I love you. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love, everybody. Have a good day, he says. Much love.